We're following the breaking news out of Haiti. The largest, most powerful earthquake in the region's history has crippled the country.
The first images from Haiti are confirming the world's worst fears.
We're a country and a people who are no strangers to hardship and suffering. This tragedy seems especially cruel and incomprehensible.
The island, considered the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, is said to be suffering a catastrophe of major proportions.
In the 1930s, cooperatives were formed to bring safe, reliable electrical service to neighbors in need. Today, through the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association's International Foundation, American co-ops are spreading the cooperative spirit throughout the world. White River Electric's own Bill Geiger and Bill Maher volunteered for the mission of a lifetime in the devastated country of Haiti.
The reason I wanted to come to Haiti was to help these people rebuild their country.
I just thought it would be something interesting to do, to give back to another country. We have the technology and we have the experience to do that.
A year after the tragic earthquake, Bill Maher and Bill Geiger traveled more than 1,800 miles to Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, when we flew into the Miami airport, that's when we run into the crews that we were working with. Two of the boys were from Central Virginia. That was Chris and Brian. Then we ran into the Illinois boys. There was Terry. Jim Coleman's their CEO, and then we had Chris and Brian also. All very experienced guys, real dedicated at what they do.
Although the Americans had seen countless news reports on the earthquake, nothing could prepare them for what they found in Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
You cannot fathom the things that your eyes try to take in everywhere. 3- 4-story buildings collapsed down to 1 story. People living on the streets, people cooking on the streets.
By no means would any of us sit here and say that this city is even close to being healed.
The destruction's still here. The buildings are still tore up. The rubble's still here.
There's still 810,000 people that are living in tents around town. Living in a tent city is no picnic. This is not camping out. This is survival at its basic level. You have to worry about simple things like where can you wash your clothes? Where do you get water?
It really tears at your heart to see people have to live like that.
I've teared up many times just seeing the devastation of how they have to live.
I mean, it just gives you a sick feeling inside, you know, how bad these people have been hurt.
Even though as bad as everything is, you notice these people are real resilient. It amazes me that when we drive down the street, their clothes are clean, their shoes are polished. They take pride in themselves. I mean, they could just lay down. They could just quit, and they're not willing to do that.
For 3 weeks, the linemen worked with some of the 2,400 employees of Electricité de Haiti. They quickly learned that the Haitian electrical system was very, very different than back home in the States.
EDH, which is Electricité de Haiti, is the government-owned electric corporation in the country. Basically, they have a monopoly of electrical service within the entire country. Unfortunately, only about 18 to 19% of the population does have access to electricity at this time.
The reliability of their electrical system is definitely hit and miss. It's not like at home. If you're used to power 24 hours a day, good reliable system, well, this might not be a place to vacation. If they have 12 to 18 hours of reliable power, it's a treat.
Here in Haiti, what I understand is there's only about a 37% return on how much energy is produced.
We've been down the road and we've seen places where they take pop bottles and throw it over the line and then pull it just up tight. And that's how they make their connection, and it's unmetered that way.
The main purpose of bringing the volunteers in this first step was to work on safety. The linemen in particular have used very little safety precautions during the work.
They're trying to do the same thing that we do every day, but their life is so much harder because when we do our job, we've got tools to keep us safe.
We have lost a lot of guys who are working on the lines.
They are getting men hurt weekly, men killed.
The supervisors thought that the line was dead. There was no voltage on it, but it was a mistake. The line was still energized.
I don't think there's been hardly a day or a crew come through that hasn't had one guy on that crew who's been injured by electricity.
En 1994,
the line wasn't well grounded.
so I had been electrocuted and I fell over the 35 feet onto the truck. I am alive because of God.
Anxious to start training, the Americans met with their first challenge, communication, as the Haitians speak not one, but two different languages, neither of which is English.
Some of the biggest difficulties has been the language transition, teaching them how we talk, and they're teaching us how they talk.
You'd be surprised when you get out here working in a roundabout way, you might not be able to speak their language, but you can speak their job.
With the assistance of translators, the Americans found the Haitians eager to learn.
It's incredible to see the linemen, how they react about the training. For these linemen, the U.S. linemen coming here and teaching them things, it's just incredible.
I'm very happy because I see that it's a very good thing and a lot of things are getting better. The things that from now on, the technicians, when they'll be working on the lines, they'll be more careful and they'll feel more comfortable.
They're ecstatic that we're here, that we're willing to help them and get them hopefully back to a place where it's a lot better conditions for them and their country.
To teach as many Haitians as possible, the American linemen split into teams, each focusing on different skills and equipment. The Virginia linemen taught climbing, a very basic skill the Haitians had never learned.
They were working off ladders, doing everything. They really took hold when they saw how they could maneuver up the pole without having to come down and move their ladder.
Even on the first day, we know we had the two that were just naturals at it, picked up really well, and they have started teaching others.
We're going to make it fun today. All right, does anybody know who Kobe Bryant is? Does anybody know who LeBron James is? All right, Michael Jordan? All right, what we're going to do is, Daniel's going to say go. When he says go, Brian goes up the pole. I'm going to throw you this ball. You're going to catch it and try to put it in that transformer can, just like LeBron James, just like Kobe Bryant. And anything that you teach and learn, putting games in it just makes it fun. And you hear them laughing and carry on. Daniel, tell them so smooth, so smooth. I never would have imagined that they would have learned so quickly. These gentlemen, they don't have any quit to them.
The team from Illinois focused on the life-saving technique of grounding. The process of grounding the line is second nature in America, but was seldom, if ever, used in Haiti. Grounding can save a lineman from electrocution and would have prevented many of their previous accidents.
Today we're taking the trucks and going through all their personal tools. The grounds, they don't even use their grounds. What's that?
He used to test with his finger.
With his finger?
Yes.
Backhand?
Yeah.
And tell him that, you know, that can't happen anymore. We want them to keep the rest of his hands, use the grounds.
An important part of the grounding instruction was teaching the EDH linemen how to clean and care for their hot sticks.
Those hot sticks are insulated fiberglass, and if they get contaminated, they can actually pass electrical voltage to the lineman working.
They put them on top of their trucks, so they're constantly in the sun, in the weather, they're bouncing around on the road.
We're putting tubes on their truck to keep the sticks safe because the sticks they have are completely annihilated and not passing any of the tests.
Today we had a little ceremony where everybody got to cut up the bad hot sticks and we issued out new hot sticks.
Those sticks we blew up today were probably less than 10 years old. One of the sticks that we brought down was like 20 years old, and it was better than anything that they had on their truck, by far, because we've learned to take care of our stuff. Well, Patrick was talking to him today. He was telling them that they've hurt enough people, they've had enough fatalities, and it's time to use proper safety precautions, even if it takes a little more time to do the job, that it's right to do the grounding, it's right to use the testers, and it's right to come home at the end of the day with all your arms and legs.
When more than 80% of your country does not have electricity, linemen need to work efficiently. Thanks to a donation from an American co-op, EDH received a bucket truck and the first digger derrick truck ever introduced in Haiti. The linemen from White River Electric Co-op had the responsibility of teaching the Haitians how to operate their new equipment.
All of the holes that they have dug here in Haiti prior to the point of receiving this digger derrick has been with a shovel And I don't care if it's a rock hole or if it's a dirt hole. It's an hour to 2 minimum on digging a dirt hole. You're looking at 6 to 8, maybe 2 days of digging it through the rock.
They have been showing us how to operate, how to manage those trucks really well. And I think that those trucks gonna help us, to work. You're gonna save a lot of works.
They are really kind of babying it compared to what we would do at home. But heck, when you think about it, it's their first truck that digs holes. They're gonna want to take care of it.
They are very, very excited about the training. Most of the time they ask a lot of questions. They want to know all of the knowledge of those two bills.
The Americans even had the opportunity to head into the chaotic streets of Port-au-Prince to work in the field with the newly trained linemen.
Doing line work in Haiti is a whole different world than what we see in the States.
The biggest challenges that we've come across with working out in the field is just the traffic and the number of people.
The job might actually be 10, 15 minutes away in the States, but it takes us an hour and a half in the traffic to get there. That's what, man, if we're just going to pick this up first, is that what he's wanting to do? I would lift the whole assembly up. What's he talking about doing now?
Yeah, he's going to set up the
lift the whole assembly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were driving to another accident, but we pulled up on an accident and there was a truck that had hit a pole and we had to take down some equipment and tie up the pole.
There's some days we go out in the field, you kind of have to roll with what you come across.
Well, if we tie the top back to that tree, then we'll take the truck loose and take the pot down because we don't have any other way to do it.
Yeah. I thought maybe you could come up with a game plan.
I don't know what.
We just pulled up and I guess the truck had caught the telephone and pulled down the pole, and it actually caught 2 poles, and right now we're just cutting it down and getting it out of the way so that we can clear the road. It's too long of a span going downhill. We need to drop it and just throw it out of the way.
Yeah, if you get it out of the way, at least it'll open the street up for right now. Then he can set his pole and we can actually put the line back.
It's pretty amazing here how traffic just runs around you. People walk through your work zone. In the States, it would drive us absolutely nuts. We need this guy to go up there and keep people out from underneath that pole.
Here, the traffic doesn't want to stop just because the job's in the way.
It's a little different than at home. We'd have to pick up everything. Here, they just leave everything here. They've cut the telephone, they cut fiber. Here, they don't care. It impedes the job, so they just cut it down. That's one of the dangers of having that style of truck and that type of truck is when you're winding up that auger, that cable could break and it just swings loose then. In some ways, that may have been a good thing to see that so that we could show them that it actually can happen. This is just one day in Port-au-Prince. This is like storm damage around our area. Love you, man.
Yes, me too.
While the knowledge the linemen shared will last a lifetime, so will the relationships they built.
How can I say thank you for that? I don't know, man. Something very special.
Probably the most rewarding part of this job that I've done in the last 3 weeks is the friendships I've made with all the linemen.
I love you guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, yo, man, come on.
It's really extraordinary. Once you get past the cultures, we're all trying to do the same job.
For you, Bill and Bill.
Bill and Billy are more than a friend. You know, I can say that Bill and Bill are our brother right now. They are part of our team.
And the friendships the linemen made went well beyond the gates of EDH.
We met this young man. We were across the road training from the facility here. There was a little boy who come up to the fence. As time has went on, he has come by here and checked on us and talked to us. His name is Ansel. He's 14 years old. He lost his mother right after the earthquake.
The first thing he tells us is that he's going to pray to his God for us, thanking us for being there in his country.
It really struck us that somebody that lived here would want to pray for us, because you know, we're so blessed in America compared to these people, and yet this boy, he's wanting to thank us for being here.
To celebrate their accomplishments, EDH hosted a graduation ceremony. 102 Haitian linemen received diplomas for their training and a well-deserved feast, the nicest many had ever experienced.
We would like to thank all the instructors. We are very grateful to all of them. We reassure you of our relationship that will be very friendship. And we will never forget you.
For those 3 short weeks at least, the cooperative spirit made our big world seem a little smaller. For the Americans, it may have been a short trip, but for the Haitians, the impact will carry on for generations.
The drive back and forth to work every day, it's an hour, almost an hour, yet you see something new every day. Something new that reinforces the understanding that these people are trying, but they need a hand. And it's up to us and the other nations of the world that actually have the ability to make it happen, make it happen.
We're so fortunate for what we do have. I'll have a whole new outlook on life when I get back home.
And the problems that you think you have back home, you don't have any problems. I mean, my children have food, they have a warm house. The rain doesn't rain on them. We just taught them to climb. They've taught us just as much, if not more, about life.
You realize that we're very fortunate to have the tools and the knowledge on how to work this stuff, and to be able to help people attain this knowledge and work in a safe manner so that they can go home and see their kids is a very special thing to be able to do that.
What we've showed them, it's going to save their lives, it'll protect them. And if I get anything out of this, that's going to be probably my biggest feeling of accomplishment, to know even if we save one life out of what we've done, that's going to make this whole trip worth it.